Youth get really traumatized from the system, and a lot of youth feel voiceless and defeated. I came to Juvenile Law Center after being incarcerated at the age of 15, and I really wanted to express and talk to people about what I've been through. And Juvenile Law Center, they actually listened.
I had this second court date in front of this judge. It was Ria on one side of me and Neha on the other, and they half carried me. I remember an arm on each of my arms. As a child, I really trusted these women to care for me.
It's the personal connection that was there from day one. Ideas around shared humanity, a right to redemption, and treating children as children.
Juvenile Law Center is a legal advocacy organization. We work on behalf of children in the family regulation or child welfare system, as well as the juvenile and criminal legal systems. And we work to reduce the harm that children experience in those systems, and in recognition of that harm, work toward ultimately abolishing them.
We started Juvenile Law Center right out of law school. I started it along with my fellow law students, Judy Chomsky, Bob Schwartz, and Phil Margolis.
I remember meeting with many people to get advice about the wisdom of setting up a public interest law firm, since we really didn't know anything and had no money. And most people said it was a really stupid thing to do.
In their third year in law school, 4 of my students came to see me to tell me about their plans to create a public interest law firm devoted to juvenile justice. I thought, this project is certainly doomed, but they're my students, they're idealistic, they're committed, so I said yes, I'd be on the board.
We started with no resources, with no salaries. Our first couple of years were actually spent in a doctor's office.
This was a very young organization, very leanly staffed, very leanly financed.
What we really focused on was the fact that kids really don't have a voice. They have no political vote. They were only recently entitled to legal representation in delinquency proceedings. To us, it was really about giving them an opportunity to have someone stand with them, be with them, speak for them, and listen to them. We started locally, and we were really focused on Philadelphia, the surrounding counties. In the 80s, we branched out into Pennsylvania. We began to recognize that it wasn't enough, actually, to just be lawyers for kids, that we needed to think much more broadly in terms of, first of all, ensuring that we had multidisciplinary resources available to us. Kids' lives are very complicated, and we recognized that we needed to have social service and psychological and medical personnel available to us to help us sort out how we could best meet children's needs. In the 90s, we began to think more broadly about the ways in which we could influence and fight for systemic impact on behalf of young people.
What we really needed to do was to change the minds of judges, of lawyers, and really create a knowledge base.
We were better off and we could be more successful working wholesale rather than retail. And so we began to shift our focus from individual representation to really thinking about doing impact litigation and focusing on systemic reform.
These young people throughout their time in foster care are supported in establishing really meaningful and loving relationships with their family and with other adults, even if they can't live with those people. The kinds of things they face: housing stability, education stability, employment, transportation, healthcare, are similar to other young people at that age, but of course more pronounced unless they do have these supportive adults who can assist them to navigate through their late teens and early 20s.
In the last 20 years, we have really been substantially influenced by scientific research that has really demonstrated that kids are different. They're different developmentally, and that has really profound consequences for how we think about them in the law.
Having served 31 years in prison for a crime committed as a child that was disappeared from society, The Roper versus Simmons decision, the Miller decision, the two of those cases were very significant in creating the jurisprudence that ultimately enabled my own release.
This was about more than just doing litigation. They were in the process of creating new law, and so I don't think that you can understate the trailblazing nature of the work that they were doing.
My case was the catalyst for exposing the infamous Kids for Cash case, the nation's biggest judicial scandal. It was a case in which judges had been accused of accepting kickbacks in exchange for sending children to jail.
Uncovering the scandal, which required a lot of creative thinking, a lot of hard work, and great lawyering.
They, vindicated my community and validated me and contributed so significantly to my growth and to help healing this big wound.
We're a small team. We are small but mighty. And when you think of the impact that we have, you would never know that we're a staff of only 20 to 25 people. We've been small since the beginning of our existence, and yet the issues that we work on are massive issues. And every single person who's on our staff is committed to the work that we do and mission-driven.
As a youth advocate, I got to really see the impact of my advocacy. What has been the most exciting for me has definitely been to really see bills passed and us change policy for youth in the system.
I have always wanted to give back to this organization in some way and sort of use whatever resources I have personally to help, build something here with this team of people who I see as real-life superheroes.
Juvenile Law Center has had 3 executive directors or CEOs, Marsha Levick, Bob Schwartz, and Sue Mangold. And I've had the opportunity to work under all 3 of them and learn from them. Ever since I was in law school, I knew that this was the work that I wanted to do. Juvenile Law Center had a really unique perspective because we really believed in youth voice and youth-centered advocacy.
Having been a part of the selection of Rhea when she was first a fellow at the Juvenile Law Center, to see her now as the head of the organization is just a wonderful revelation.
I have a lot of memories, and I think that a lot of them are around the people who have passed through our doors, the amazing people that we've had the opportunity to work with, that I've had the opportunity to meet.
Bob Schwartz was a massive Phillies fan. Every July, he would buy tickets for us to go see the Phillies together as a staff, and we would stand in the sun and have a wonderful time, wonderful afternoon watching the game.
Bob will always be, absolutely always be with us in our hearts. He wasn't just an extraordinary friend and partner. He was really someone who, in many respects, was the beating heart of Juvenile Law Center for many decades. Our work has changed a lot. The way that we have approached representing children, the problems that we've tackled, the jurisdictional boundaries that we have crossed.
In the way that we approach some of the work that we do, in the way that we embed a racial justice analysis in the work that we do.
I knew that there was something special going on. I had no idea that it was going to last for over 50 years. None of us could have anticipated the ultimate reach, both locally, statewide, nationally, and even internationally. We are a force of nature.
Today, we have morphed into one of the leading national children's rights organizations in the country.
Fortunately, my prediction that they would fail and my advice not to do it was one of the biggest mistakes in my career. I'm very happy to say that.
A 50-year legacy with tremendous work that has manifested growth and development in so many different areas of juvenile development, the impact that we have in communities who usually lack resources to protect children in a meaningful way. And yet it seems that there's so much more work left to be done.
There's no question but that what we're seeing now and what we're experiencing now is an extreme swing in the wrong direction. Juvenile Law Center is an organization that has weathered this before. And so as much as I think we are fearful for the kids that we represent, the families that we work with, the ability to continue to keep moving the ball forward, we will do what we always do, which is we will step up and meet the moment. I hope that the legacy is one that reflects that we stood up for kids, that we made their lives better.
My hopes for the future of Juvenile Law Center is that we continue to impact the lives of young people.
I want to live in a world where young people are met with grace and compassion when they make mistakes, instead of zero tolerance and anger and hatred and misunderstanding.
What I hope for the future of the organization, where I think we'll go, is to build upon that legacy of civil and social justice and making sure that we are working in partnership with communities and working in partnership with individuals, primarily Black and brown children, who are being pulled into these systems, and we work alongside them in this fight. At our core, I think we're very much the same children's civil rights organization that was founded in 1975. Onward to the next 50 years.